Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Let's Play, and then there were none. Um, this is not what I remember, where I thought we were, but alright. I'll roll with it. Are we talking to people? I think we might be talking to people. Let's talk to people. Oh, no, can I go walk around here? Okay. Okay, so we need to talk to people. Is there... Okay, I don't know if I can't remember if I've read this out because it's been a while. I'm going to read it out again, if I have. 10 little sailor boys went out to dine. One choked his little self, and then there were 9. 9 little sailor boys sat up very late. One overslept himself, and then there were 8. 8 little sailor boys travelling in Devon. One said he'd stay there, and then there were 7. 7 little sailor boys chopping up sticks. One chopped himself in halves, and then there were 6. 6 little sailor boys playing with a hive. A bumblebee stung one, and then there were 5. 5 little sailor boys going in for law. One got in chancery, and then there were 4. 4 little sailor boys going out to sea. A red herring swallowed one, and then there were 3. 3 little sailor boys walking in the zoo. A big bear hugged one, and then there were 2. 2 little sailor boys sitting in the sun. One got frizzled up, and then there were none. Then there was 1. 1 little sailor boy left all alone. He went and hanged himself, and then there were none. So there's a few where it's like...
I copied the contents into my notebook.
Oh, okay, we need to actually copy this.
I copied the contents
I want
into
to
my
copy
notebook.
each one. Alright, that seems a little excessive, but alright.
I copied the contents into my notebook. I copied the contents
maybe
into
not.
my notebook.
Have I just got... Oh, I've got the whole rhyme. Strange to feature such childish verse so prominently. Okay. Yeah, so this is slightly different. I don't think there was a bear in one of them. Oh. Cool. Let's talk to people. Maybe we'll find some things. Any truth to the accusation against you? I can't... Oh, it was... They've all killed people. I know that one from the book and the film, but I can't remember what they're actually accused of.
Any truth to the accusation against you?
Owen did his research well. The accusation is absolutely true. I don't see that you've earned the right to any details, though.
Will you tell me how it happened?
Will you tell me how it happened?
It was written up in the papers at the time. A story of self-preservation, pure and simple. A hunting party lost in the bush. The great white hunter checks the food supplies, assesses his chances, and clears out on his own.
Leaving 21 men to die.
Not very Puka Sahib, I'm afraid.
What brought you here?
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
Owen's attorney, a man named Archibald Morris, rang up one day. Wanted to give me 100 guineas to join this house party. I was to put myself at Owen's disposal in case my rather specialized talents were required.
And what would they be?
What specialized talents would those be?
You might say I'm a good man in a scrap.
Thank you, Lombard.
Any truth to the accusation against you, General Mackenzie?
Any truth to the accusation against you?
Fellow got hold of a detestable rumor, nothing more. Arthur Richmond was one of my officers. I sent him on a reconnaissance, he was killed. Natural course of events in wartime.
I am indebted to you for your help, General Mackenzie.
And then he came back years later with a mongoose. I was going to say ferret, but mongoose. Any truth to the accusations against you? Yeah, that's the crooked man, for those that don't know.
Any truth to the accusation against you?
About that child, Cyril Hamilton. I was nursery governess to him.
Will you tell me how it happened?
Will you tell me how it happened?
I'd like to tell you. Cyril was forbidden to swim out far. One day, my attention was distracted. I couldn't get there in time. It was awful. But it wasn't my fault. At the inquest, the coroner exonerated me. Oh, and his mother. She was so kind. If she didn't blame me, why should this awful thing be said?
Are you sure you're telling me everything?
I'm telling you all I'm going to, Mr. Narracott.
What brought you here?
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
I was engaged through the Skilled Women's Agency to be Mrs. Owen's personal secretary for the remainder of the summer. Then I hope to return to teaching.
A good evening to you, Miss Claythorne. Stay safe.
Any truth to the accusation against you, Judge Walgrave?
Any truth to the accusation against you?
I remember Seaton perfectly well. Playwright, not a very good one. Charged with the murder of a chorus girl. He was very ably defended and made a good impression on the jury. Nevertheless, it was clear to me he'd done it.
I am grateful for your assistance, Judge Wargrave.
Any truth to the accusation against you?
Any truth to the accusation against you?
Look, Narracott, if that's what you want to call yourself. The rules have changed. Can't you see that? The past is past. It's the present we should be worrying about. Something is not right here.
Wouldn't you tell me how it happened?
Will you tell me how it happened?
All right, all right. Perhaps I was doing the odd favor for the Purcells. But if your brother was framed, I had nothing to do with it. Yes, they paid me to perjure myself about Landor. Thanks to them, I was able to put enough away to set up my own detective agency. Nothing fancy, but I've been straight ever since, I swear.
Landor died.
He got penal servitude for life and died in Dartmoor a year later. Not my fault he was such a delicate man.
What brought you here?
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
I run a little detective agency in Plymouth these days. I'm on a job. To protect Mrs. Owen's jewels, the letter said. Mrs. Owen, my foot. I don't believe there's any such person.
Good evening, Mr. Blore.
I overheard you mention St. Tredenick to Miss Claythorne.
I overheard you mention St. Tredenick to Miss Claythorne.
I was staying at a seaside hotel near St. Tredenick this same week of August 4 years ago. That boy Cyril Hamilton drowned near there. It was the talk of the town. His half-brother was much older. Hugo, I think his name was. Cyril was a vile child, by all accounts, but first in line for the family title and estates. When he died, it all went to Hugo. He was just about Miss Claythorne's age. There was talk of something between them.
You're suggesting Vera let the boy drown so the man she loved could inherit?
That would be idle gossip. I don't indulge in idle gossip. I've only told you the facts of the case as I remember them.
At an opportune time that you fill in the blanks. So yes, it does seem like maybe she did. Maybe she did. She is responsible.
Any truth to the accusation against you?
Beatrice Taylor was in service with me. Not a nice girl, as I found out too late. Loose. No morals whatsoever.
What happened?
Will you tell me how it happened?
It was some time before I found out she was what they call in trouble. Her parents were decent folk, too. I'm glad to say they did not condone her behavior when I told them of it.
What happened to Beatrice?
Naturally, I did not keep her an hour under my roof. No one shall ever say that Emily Brent condoned immorality.
How did she die?
Not content with having one sin on her conscience, she committed a still graver sin. She took her own life, threw herself in the river. If she had behaved like a decent young woman, she'd be alive today.
You have no regrets?
She made an excellent breakfast. I miss that. Fresh juice every day.
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
I received a letter with a signature that was not very easy to read. It purported to be from a woman I'd met at a certain summer resort 2 or 3 years ago. I am quite certain I have never met or become friendly with anyone of the name of Owen.
Thank you, Miss Brent.
Right, we have to go. I think we have to go awkwardly. We have to go back here, and then up here, and round. So we can talk to these fellows. I feel our character is actually dressed. The way he's dressed is slightly out of place.
I shouldn't do that. I need to have my wits about me. I shouldn't do that.
Okay.
I need to have my wits about me. I don't need it. And I'm no pack rat. No need to call unnecessary attention to my snooping.
You're not snooping. Marston, any truth to the accusation against you?
Any truth to the accusation against you?
The name sounded vaguely familiar. I expect it will come to me.
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
Got a wire from a pal of mine, Badger Barkley. Surprised me at the time because I had an idea the old horse had gone to Norway. Told me to roll up here.
That will be all, Marston.
Yes, that's interesting because I think this is the only one that isn't from Owen. I think so. Any truth to the accusation against you, Mr. Rogers?
Any truth to the accusation against you?
It's true we were the only ones there the night Miss Brady died. But she was always in poor health. Always. From the time we came to her.
Tell me how it happened.
Will you tell me how it happened?
There was a storm, as fierce as the one brewing outside right now when she was taken bad. The telephone was out of order. I went for the doctor on foot, but he got there too late.
Were you mentioned in the will?
Barely. Certainly not what we were led to believe. She was just saying it, you see, to ensure our devotion to her. Beg pardon. I'm not sure what came over me just then. The strain of tonight, I expect, and worry over Mrs. Rogers, of course.
What brought you here?
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
We expected to finally meet Mr. and Mrs. Owen today. Ethel didn't want to take the job, but I insisted. I'm beginning to wish I'd listened to her.
Very kind of you to give me your time, Mr. Rogers.
Right. Let's talk to the doctor, are you? Ah, what brought you here to what was the gossip concerning the Seaton case?
What was the gossip concerning the Seaton case?
I'm not one to spread gossip to just anyone about a man as distinguished as Justice Wargrave. If I were certain about him, perhaps. But I'm not.
Okay, so we need to build up our relationship with some people. Okay, that's interesting. What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
Owen sent me a note, asking me to have a look at his wife, who's been suffering from arthritis and muscle spasms.
Good evening, Doctor.
Okay. Now let's get to the servants' quarters. Let's try and have a chat with Mrs. Rogers. Is there anyone in the billiard area? It'd be really good if you could have, if there was like a map.
I can't open it. It's locked.
Okay. Okay, this is new room. So that's where we were, so this is where we are.
Shipwreck Island. That's Shipwreck Island.
Shipwreck Island, apparently.
Sticklehaven. Hopefully I'll live to see the place again.
Strong currents make these waters unsafe for swimming.
Those currents appear quite deadly.
Yes.
A rather beautifully made globe of the world.
Right, okay.
It's a book holder. Seems like a long time since it's been used.
Hello.
Wargrave on justice. I can only imagine the egotism that lurks within those pages.
Yes. Anything else? Hello. Why did I just pick up a book? What did I just pick up? Birding on Devon's shores.
Property of Teresa Robson. I transcribed the interesting passages into my notebook.
Okay, well let's have a look then. Page 8. Or a leisurely hunt on the placid shores of Slapton Lay. Pied Avocet. Oh my goodness. Recoverostra Avoceta. The plentiful pied avocets that once frequented the brackish inlets have now disappeared from the island completely. This is unfortunate, but there is hope for a remedy. As of this writing, there are talks of recolonization from the continent underway. The prospects of success for such a venture, however, are not good, as proven by the wide-scale failed attempt to reintroduce page 15. Although, as with a great number of wetland birds, the total number varies annually depending on the amount of seasonal flooding. Sparrowhawk, Accipiter nissus, a small bird of prey in the family Accipitridae. Really kind of straining my Latin. It's widespread with those indigenous to northern climes being migratory. The sparrowhawk is a raptor with short wings and a long tail, giving it the necessary agility to maneuver through the dense. Page 49. With a thick seed-eater's bill. The male's head is coloured bright yellow with a black eye stripe and throat. Its back is heavily streaked with broad brown stripes. The female has a greyish rump and shoulders. They are ground nest builders and typically lay clutches of 2 to 5 eggs. The call of the searle bunting is easily recognizable by its rattling trill. Once driven near extinction, they're currently enjoying a population boom in around South Hams. Or is that South Hampshire? Or is that a place called South Hams? That's us.
Those currents appear quite deadly. Sticklehaven.
Sticklehaven.
Hopefully I'll live to see the place again. That's Shipwreck Island.
Shipwreck Summit.
That's Shipwreck Island.
Okay, I was hoping for a bit more use, but alright. Okay. Let's have a look. We're just kind of randomly exploring at the moment. Hello.
The drawer is locked.
Okay. We now have an ink pad and an ink stamp.
I see nothing remarkable.
Okay.
Let me examine this further.
So this is the map. So, there's the jetty. Here's the house. So there's a ruined village underwater here. There's a grotto. There's the garden. There's the apiary. Now, of course, one of the things is about bees and playing with hives, so that's something to be aware of. Shipwreck Summit. Okay.
This could use a closer look.
Yes, that's why I did that. Powerful friends. Want to shine some light on the matter? Flowery speeches may win you a few friends. Shed some light on the matter. Okay.
I see nothing remarkable.
Okay. What's
Let
this?
me examine this further.
This is a clue. Powerful friends. Want to shine some light on the matter? Flowery speeches may win you a few friends. I have no idea what that's referring to, but alright. Is there a book on this shelf, maybe, that's going to be something we can grab? Hello. Yep, there we go. And this is Safe Passage of the South Sea Islands.
I transcribed the pertinent passages in my notebook.
I don't think there'd be any, but alright. What's the code?
This bears a closer look.
Okay. I'll have to think about that a bit later. Page 11. Sailing south from the Marquesas, one first encounters to the Tuamotu Islands, consisting of 78 low islands and coral atolls. Manahini is particularly interesting. Unlike other nearby islands, there is no major island or islands protected by reefs. It is entirely comprised of a natural ring of low-lying coral atolls and reefs. Passage within the ring is only possible through the Toriapaoa Pass to the southwest.